is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Today we embark on a long journey, a 6-month grueling grind that defines a baseball season. Hopes are high in every major league city, but it's especially true in Cleveland, Ohio. Fans here have waited more than 6 decades to see their team win the World Series. Is this the year the Indians conquer the baseball world? The wild ride is about to begin.
So close to the edge.
It is finally here, officially this time, opening day 2016 on a frigid day in downtown Cleveland here at Progressive Field, where the Cleveland Indians welcome in the Boston Red Sox. Some new faces will take the field for the Tribe today, and we can't wait to get the action underway. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Excited to be back with you again, calling the Tribe on Sports Time Ohio this year. And a lot of anticipation for this ball club. Once again, high expectations. And nowhere are those expectations higher than for Francisco Lindor, who had an incredibly impactful rookie campaign.
Well, he was so much fun to watch last year in the 4 months that he played, and in the second half of the season, he was about as good as anybody in baseball. Not only offensively, defensively, he can run the bases, he hits from both sides of the plate. He is one of the most exciting players in the league, and he's going to have to try and come back and do it again in year number 2. You can see the 99 hits, 11 stolen bases, 42 RBIs. He had a very nice first year.
And with Michael Brantley sideline here early in the season, Francisco Lindor moves into the number 3 spot in the Indians batting lineup. What a great pitching matchup. You won't see a better one anywhere in baseball. 2 former Cy Young Award winners go at it today. Corey Kluber for Cleveland, David Price for Boston.
They were waiting to go at it yesterday, but they had to wait one more day. Corey Kluber coming off a very good spring. This is his 2nd straight opening day start for the Indians. He'll be matched up against David Price. But for Kluber, his problem last year was the first inning. He gave up 6 home runs in the first inning, had an ERA of over 5. But going up against David Price, this is a guy last year, 18-5, and he has pitched very well in his career against the Cleveland Indians. 9-2. He's 4-0 in Cleveland. So this is a guy with a good fastball, a great changeup to the right-handers. He can cut the ball in. He also has a very good slider. They'll have their work cut out for him. I don't expect to see a lot of runs or a lot of hits in this ball game with these 2 guys matched up against each other.
And David Price today will become just the 3rd pitcher ever to make his 3rd straight opening day start for 3 different teams. When we come back, we'll hear from Andre Knott, and we've got the first pitch between Cleveland and Boston as we start the 2016 season next. on and miss. He got him. 10th strikeout of the night for Corey Kluber. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with some high heat. And heat is something we could do with here this afternoon, because it will be very chilly at game time on opening day here in Cleveland. Indians and the Boston Red Sox. Corey Kluber ready to take them on for the Tribe. They'll be squaring off against the Boston team with very high expectations. Many picked the Red Sox to win the very hotly contested AL East this year. They'll have David Price, their new starter, on the hill for them. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knott, who has more on Corey Kluber, who will make his second consecutive opening day start for Cleveland.
He'll make his second consecutive opening day start for Cleveland, but Matt and Rick, the thing that he's excited about is he gets to make his first opening day start here at Progressive Field, something that he takes to heart and is excited to get started.
I think it'll definitely be exciting. This will be my first chance to pitch, opening day at home or home opener. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that, I don't have any reason to believe that it won't be an unbelievable crowd. Every time I've been there for one, it's been awesome so far. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really exciting day, and hopefully, once things get going, though, it'll just kind of calm down and be a regular game. So it's an unbelievable environment to be there, especially at home on opening day. But it's funny, I think opening day almost feels a little bit like a holiday or something, opening day in baseball. But it's, I think for a lot of people, it's a way to kind of get out of winter, that kind of thing. So I definitely think there's excitement in that aspect of it too.
Now, guys, with the weather, the one thing that both teams are concerned with the pitchers is the grip on the ball. Fastball should be okay, but Rick and Matt, they're worried about off-speed pitches. Will they be able to get their hands around the seams and really feel it? We'll have to watch that early with both Price and Kluber.
No question about it. Something we'll keep a close eye on here early in the ball game, and it will be brutally cold. A game time temperature of just 34 degrees with the wind chill. It's going to feel like 23, which is actually an improvement upon where we were yesterday in late afternoon, where that wind chill was down in the teens. This will be one of the coldest opening days ever. And for the Indians and Red Sox, it's the 4th time that they have met on opening day. First time since my partner was on the field, even though he didn't play in that game, back in 1979, and the previous 3 times they met on opening day all occurred at Fenway Park in Boston. So Corey Kluber ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for John Farrell's Boston Red Sox this afternoon. Farrell in his 4th year at the helm in Boston. Now Mookie Betts will lead it off. Dustin Pedroia, the veteran, will bat second, followed by the talented shortstop XANDER Bogaerts. David Ortiz in his final season will bat cleanup. Then it's Hanley Ramirez, Travis Shaw getting the start at third base. Brock Holt is in left. Blake SWIHART, switch hitting catcher, will bat 8th, and Jackie Bradley Jr. will hit 9th.
And today's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe, it'll be Corey Kluber. 9-16 last year, ERA of 3.49. A lot of teams made adjustments to him last year, trying to get aggressive early in the count. He did have an ERA in the first inning last year of 5.62, and I mentioned he gave up 6 home runs in the very first inning. So he's going to try and hit quality strikes, have a nice quick 1-2-3 inning, and then settle in.
Speaking of quality strikes, opposing hitters had their best chance at success against Kluber last year on the first pitch. Something to watch as the game unfolds here today. Kluber's first pitch of the 2016 campaign, up and away for ball 1 to Mookie Betts. In the dirt, and the count quickly 2-0. Last year, when opposing batters put that first pitch in play against Kluber, they hit 359 against him. After the first pitch, just 209 average against Kluber.
Well, that's how Corey gets a lot of his strikeouts, when he is ahead of the count on hitters, and he can expand their strike zone.
There's a fastball right down Broadway. It's 2-1.
Right now, Betts going to make him get in the strike zone. This is a young man that hit 291 last year, 42 doubles, 8 triples.
Swings and pops this pitch up out of play.
Boy, on a day like today, if you're the hitter, you certainly want to hit the ball on the barrel of the bat. If you hit it off the end, it's going to kill you. If you get jammed, it's going to hurt. I think the pitchers have the advantage, although the baseballs, as Andre said, will be slick.
A 2-ball, 2-strike count for Mookie Betts. And he strikes him out to start the game. So for Corey Kluber, literally picking up where he left off a year ago. Kluber had 245 strikeouts in his 222 innings of work a season ago.
He comes back with the slider. Very good pitch right there. You can see Betts out in front of that pitch, right on the outside corner. Had a good portion of the plate. And that's the devastating pitch that Kluber can get the right-handers out with.
Dustin Pedroia steps in. And Pedroia, the veteran, takes a called strike. His 10th straight opening day start. The only Red Sox player in franchise history with a longer streak at any single position was the great Carl Yastrzemski, who had 12 straight opening day starts for the Red Sox. In right field, Colin Cowgill makes the grab, and there are 2 down in the first.
Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. Behind Kluber this afternoon, it'll be Bird in left field, Davis is in center, Cowgill in right. All new outfield for the Indians. Uribe at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Napoli at first, and Gomes is doing the catching.
Veteran crew chief John Hirschbeck has the plate this afternoon. Bill Welke is at first, Vic Carapazza at second, DJ Rayburn is down at third. Here is Xander Bogaerts, and he takes a fastball for strike 1. Bogaerts made his 3rd opening day roster. He was the opening day shortstop in the last 2 years at shortstop for Boston. Checked the swing, but he went around. And it's quickly 0-2. Just 23 years old, Bogaerts, very talented young player for Boston. And the 0-2 is hit on the ground right at the shortstop. Lindor fields it cleanly and throws him out. Corey Kluber with a spotless 1-2-3 first. The Indians are coming to bat when we come back. As the Indians come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning, the Tribe's starting lineup is brought to you by Progressive. Under manager Terry Francona, it will be Rajai Davis leading it off. Then Jason Kipnis batting second. Francisco Lindor will hit third. Mike Napoli batting cleanup, followed by Carlos Santana. Then it's Yan Gomes, Marlon Byrd, Juan Uribe, and Colin Cowgill.
And this afternoon's Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Red Sox is David Price. David 18-5 last year. Very similar numbers to Corey Kluber, except he had a few more wins. He had better run support, 225 strikeouts in his 220 innings. Pitched very well against the Indians in his career. He is 9-2. He's a perfect 4-0 in Cleveland.
And Price fires a first pitch strike into Rajai Davis.
Really an abbreviated windup for Price. It's almost like he's coming out of the stretch every time. Just a very small step behind the rubber, and he gathers himself, comes right at you, pounds the strike zone. 47 walks last year in his 220 innings.
2-strike pitch about to be made, but Price backs away first. Now regroup. Check. It's a called third strike. And Rajai Davis is out number 1. You mentioned the success of David Price here in Cleveland. And he was saying the other day he remembered that his first start here in Cleveland, he said, I think we scored 9 runs in the first inning, and I didn't even last 5 innings in that ball game.
I do remember that when he was with Tampa, but had a no decision.
Jason Kipnis coming off a strong performance a year ago where he batted .303 with 43 doubles. Blowing away for ball 1. Kipnis named to the All-Star team a year ago for the 2nd time in his career. And Price dots the outside corner with a strike to even the count. Kipnis has been valuable for Terry Francona in his ability to move around in the batting order. That's in off the plate, 2-1. He had success last year, Rick, whether it was in the 2-hole batting third, batting leadoff.
Absolutely. You know, he got him going when he hit in that leadoff spot. That's what really, he was able to take off. He got on a great run in the month of May.
The 2-1 is called a strike. Borderline at best as Kipnis backs away.
Yeah, he didn't like the call. Looked like it was a breaking ball to Kipnis. He thought it might have been a little bit outside. You could see the grip in the glove, and it was a slider away. It was one you can't hit, so that's certainly why he didn't swing.
And the 2-2, slow breaking ball, and he strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for David Price.
Let's check out that Sox defense behind Price this afternoon. It's Holton left, Bradley in center, Betts is over and right. Shaw is at third, Bogaerts at short, Pedroia is at second, Ramirez at first, SWIHART is behind the plate.
Now Francisco Lindor. Up and away, ball 1. The runner-up in the Rookie of the Year race a season ago to Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros. He led the American League rookies last year in batting average with that .313 mark. And he was in the top 10 in just about every meaningful offensive category among rookies. Reached for it, rolls it to short. Bogaerts throws him out. So both Kluber and Price set him down 1-2-3 here in the first. Kluber goes back to work when we return. beautiful azure blue skies in downtown Cleveland, but the temperature is downright frosty at 34 degrees.
But what a difference. The looks are deceiving. You know, the sun
right.
comes out and you know,
everybody's disposition is a little better.
It sure is. It sure is. I mean, it is cold by all means for anybody out there, even the fans sitting down, but it certainly looks much nicer.
40-year-old David Ortiz in his final season in the big leagues takes a called strike from Corey Kluber. In fact, it was on his 40th birthday during the offseason in which Ortiz announced that this would in fact be his final year. Last 14 years all in the Boston Red Sox uniform. Weekly tap right back to Kluber. And he's got an easy out to start the second inning. Here are the keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Run support for Corey Kluber. A year ago, he pitched well, but on many occasions just didn't have any kind of offense to back him. A healthy Yan Gomes certainly is huge for this Indians lineup. And how will the veteran additions do in terms of productivity? That we're speaking of Mike Napoli at first base, Rajay Davis in left field, and of course now Marlon Byrd. Actually, Bird's in left field, Davis in center field. Juan Uribe at third base.
You know, you talked about the run support for Kluber. He received 3.3 runs per ball game compared to Price last year, who had 5.60 between the two teams. So there's the difference of 18-5 and 9-16.
Yep. Hanley Ramirez swings and fouls it right back. Ramirez
cut there.
19 homers a year ago.
Well, and they tried him in left field.
That was a disaster.
Well, it was. I mean, here's a shortstop. They figured, okay, you can play shortstop, you can go out and play left field. He's at first base now, so we'll see if he can adapt to that position. Not that it's any easier, because first base is a lot tougher than people think.
Yes, it is.
They think you can go out there and just play the position. Well, you got to save your infielders some throws, digging them out in the dirt.
Boy, he admired that pitch as Kluber brings him up back. As he has 2 strikeouts now. He has retired the first 5 in a row to start the game.
Well, he got caught window shopping, but it's right on the outside corner at the knees. Can't pull the trigger. It's a perfect pitch by Kluber. So 5 up, 5 down. And I expect to see this a lot today from these two pitchers. 2 of the best going at it, and the weather certainly favors the pitchers.
Travis Shaw, young third baseman, won the starting job during spring training. Pablo Sandoval, who the Red Sox signed a year ago to a $195 million contract, was hugely disappointing a season ago. Came to camp after reportedly working out hard all offseason long, and the visual impact would indicate otherwise. And Shaw just went out and played better. And so Sandoval, with all that money they owe him, is on the bench to start the year.
And he ended up playing first base. Shaw did last year for him, now playing third.
2-0 count. Rips it toward the hole, and it's a base hit. So the Red Sox will have their first runner as Shaw pulls it into right field.
Shaw had a great year against the Indians last year, swung the bat very well.
Time for our Buick stat of the game. Over the last 2 seasons, Corey Kluber with 514 strikeouts. You see how he stacks up there. And historically, only Sudden Sam McDowell has had more strikeouts over a 2-year span than Corey Kluber. And that speaks to just how dominant, how effective Kluber has been. And that's since 1969. Obviously, you go back to the era of Bob Feller. I think Feller might have struck out 500 batters in 1 year.
Well, back in those days, they could.
It only seemed like it, right? McDowell in 1969 and 1970 whiffed 583 batters. Swung on and looped into left field. That's a base hit for Brock Holt. So a pair of back-to-back singles with 2 outs here in the second inning.
Yeah, that's not a bad approach, taking Corey the other way on a breaking ball. Stayed back nicely, but serves it to left field. So back-to-back singles with 2 outs.
Rockholt's one of those guys that you and I, we liked him the minute we saw him. He's versatile, swings the bat, he's aggressive. David Price went so far as to say, when I was in Tampa and even with Detroit, I'd call him Babe Holt, because it seemed like every time we faced him, he'd get the big hit in the game.
Yeah, but he's not a power guy. He can get a base hit. You know what I'm saying? He's only a couple of home runs last year. So, but he can put the ball in play, and he can play anywhere on the field.
Here's Blake SWIHART, switch hitting catcher. And Kluber peppers the inside corner for a strike. There's a case where a pitcher misses his location, but still ends up with a called strike. He wanted that ball away, went back in. You saw Gomes reach back across his body, but it was still on the plate. Goes away and it's off the dish, 1-1. Well, we talked about perhaps the slick conditions on the baseball. At least in the early going, it looks like neither pitcher has really had an issue with that. They both seem to have very good command for the most part.
And we've seen pretty good breaking balls from both of them as well.
Swung on and missed. SWIHART couldn't help himself.
That's a good changeup. That's a pitch that Kluber's been throwing more and more to left-handers. It's a good changeup. You can see it's almost like turns it over a little bit, and it's got a little sink to it.
Looks like a fastball almost halfway there, and by the time you commit, it's too late.
But he throws that little fastball, that little comeback fastball, but that one just never gets there. That's 84 miles an hour compared to about 93, 94 on his heater.
2 on, 2 out here in the second. No score. And a 1-2 pitch from Kluber. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Corey Kluber gets strikeout number 3, and the Red Sox strand a couple in inning number 2.
Indians baseball is live with MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Mike Napoli to lead off the home half of the second for Cleveland. And David Price delivers down low, ball 1. Napoli is a career .278 hitter against left-handed pitching, which is exactly what he hit a year ago against Southpaws. And he was wailing away there, came up empty, 1-1.
Little changeup there from David Price. You can see at Napoli a little bit out in front.
Signed a 1-year deal in the offseason. That's a do-over right there.
I don't know if his footwork got messed up or what? Check his foot. Up. Yeah, just didn't like, was uncomfortable somewhere along the line.
How do you feel like if that's a balk with a runner on base, shouldn't that be a balk and the hitter gets a ball?
No. Should be no such thing as a balk anymore.
Wow. Rick Manning strong against the balk. 2-1 to Napoli. Upstairs with it. 3 balls and a strike.
I don't think he deceived anybody right there. And, you know, he just felt uncomfortable. Or I say they should call a balk when you have that inside spin move to second base.
Oh, there you go. I'm with you there. Strike call right at the top of the zone, full count. Napoli not in 100% agreement with John Hurst.
He's got a little smirk on his face right there. Not a bad pitch. If anything, I think you're right. Napoli thought it was high.
And the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Indians have their first base runner.
Well, he is patient.
Today's injury report is brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Michael Brantley on the 15-day DL as he continues to recover from off-season shoulder surgery. Lonnie Chisenhall had a left wrist impingement and hampered him at the end of spring training. And Tommy Hunter, he's a guy who had surgery in the offseason. The Indians knew he would not be ready to start the year, but they're hoping he can be an addition to that bullpen when he gets back to 100% healthy. Carlos Santana. Santana batting 5th. And David Price misses for ball 1. Let's go down to Andre Nadu, who has more on Lonnie Chisenhall.
Well, Lonnie is with the team today, guys, but he will take off and go to Columbus on Thursday. He'll play right field that day, then he'll DH, and then he'll play 3 in a row. They need him to get at bats, and they're hoping when we get to Tampa, he'll be able to join the team hopefully next Tuesday and be able to play as he's dealing with that impingement in his arm.
Santana takes again low 2-0 as Price, after walking Napoli, falls behind Carlos.
Now, Lonnie didn't have much of a spring training. I mean, the time he did and when he was hitting, he only had a couple of hits, so at-bats is definitely needed.
Now the 2-0. Santana taking, that's up and away. 3 balls, no strikes.
And those are the 2 hitters when you talk about Napoli and Carlos Santana. We mentioned it in spring training. They're 2 patient hitters. They usually see a lot of pitches per at bat. I don't recall. I don't think Santana swings a lot on 3-0. But if there was ever a guy to do it with, it would be this guy, because you figure you're going to get a fastball.
That would look like it was borderline at best.
Nissan pitch tracker right here.
Definitely not a pitch you want to offer at 3-0 when it's that high up in the zone. That's inside, ball 4. So Price has walked back-to-back hitters to start the 2nd inning.
Boy, this is where you really want to take advantage of the base runners here against David Price. Given base runners, he doesn't give up a lot of hits. He's a lot like Corey Kluber. Anytime you get guys on base, you want to try and take advantage of it. The Red Sox tried against Kluber in the 2nd inning, but it was 2 outs when they got it going. Now the Indians start this inning with their first 2 aboard and nobody out. Well, it'll be up to Gomes, Bird, and Uribe now.
Yan Gomes suffered that sprained MCL ligament in his right knee on April 12th a year ago, missed 37 games. But he came to spring training with just a real determination about him. Batted 300 in Cactus League play, and he certainly is ready to start the year. And an off-speed pitch drops in for strike 1. Also clobbered 6 home runs during spring training.
I think the air is a little bit different out in Arizona. That ball flying out of the ballpark compared to what we're playing in right now.
Got in on him, but Gomes lifts it to deep center field. Back is Bradley to make the catch. Napoli will tag, and he'll make it to third base. So because of Gomes being able to drive the ball into the wind and get it that deep, it will give the Indians perhaps an RBI opportunity now for Marlon Byrd.
Yeah, well, that's what you look at when you face pitchers as good as David Price. Productive outs make a difference. There's a productive out. You're able to move that runner from second to third, even though the double play is in order. You've got the veteran hitter in Byrd coming up, and another fly ball like that could get the Indians on a board without a hit.
Well, this guy is a really interesting addition to the ball club. Marlon Byrd, he didn't come to camp. He signed on March 18th, and that was to a minor league deal. The Indians just, hey, let's take a flyer, see if he's got anything left. And boy, he was impressive. Now, will that translate? That's what we're going to find out.
Well, he can hit. He can swing the bat. He came and he told Terry Francona he was ready to play, and he was working out with a college in California, and he was ready to hit. He had 5 or 6 doubles in spring training. But now,
a year ago, 23 doubles, or 23 homers, 25 doubles in 135 games with both Cincinnati and San Francisco. But David Price falls behind quickly, or gets ahead of him quickly. 0-2. John Adams banging away in center field as the Indians threaten here in the second inning. Upstairs, Byrd lays off. Byrd down on strikes. Third K for David Price. We always talk about pitchers who have strikeout ability. When they need a strikeout, that's when they usually are at their best. And when you got a runner at third, less than 2 out, that's when a pitcher will go for a strikeout. He gets him to chase a high heel.
Well, he elevated the fastball. He's been throwing some pitches up. He tried to throw them to Santana and Napoli. They didn't go after him. They were called balls. But when you're behind in the count, it expands the strike zone, and he came out, got ahead of Byrd early, and he gets the second out. Now he has a chance to escape.
Juan Uribe, another late addition to the Indians. He signed with the club on February 28th. And that's low ball 1. A year ago, Uribe hit 14 home runs, had 17 doubles. He's always been a solid piece on any ball club that he's been a part of. World Championship club with the White Sox back in '05. Valuable clubhouse member just about everywhere he's been, including the NL champion Mets a year ago after he was traded there during the season.
Well, the Sox know he loves the fastball because there was a couple of changeups to start him out with. If he sees a fastball, I'm sure it'll be elevated around the letters.
Low heater, and he takes it for a strike. It's 1-2.
Well, he paints this one. Comes right down there looking inside. Boy, perfect spot. 91-mile-an-hour fastball down and in. I want to see if he goes back to his changeup. Maybe tries to set that changeup up by elevating a fastball.
Mike Napoli is at third base, Santana at first. And that's up and away. 2-2. Indians swept all 3 games from Boston to end last season right here at Progressive Field. Went 4-2 against the Sox overall a year ago. The 2-2 is fouled back out of play. The Indians have won their last 6 in a row against Boston here in Cleveland. Two on, 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He strikes him out to end the inning. So both clubs threaten with a pair of base runners in inning number 2, but neither can cash in. We are scoreless as we head to the 3rd. Cold one. So stay tuned for Miller time later in the ball game, brought to you by Miller Lite. All right, Corey Kluber will go to work against Jackie Bradley Jr. here in inning number 3. Junior takes its outside, ball 1. And he hits a line drive to right field for a base hit. 3rd hit for Boston. Go down to Andre, who has more on Jackie Bradley Jr.
You know, Jackie Bradley Jr. had an interesting 2014 where he didn't hit very well. Last year he changed his approach. He hit .455 on first pitches, guys, and he says, look, he was taking too many pitches. He was trying to be too patient. He says when he's aggressive in the count, he feels like he's a better hitter. Just something to watch throughout this game because we know a lot of guys like to get on Kluber early. That was a 2nd pitch, but Jackie Bradley Jr. likes to get on the ball early in the count.
Well, that adjustment helped him to win the Comeback Player of the Year award from the Boston Writers a year ago.
Well, the thing of it is that Boston, most of the time, that Red Sox lineup is a patient lineup. So if you come up as a young kid, a lot of times you may see those guys like Pedroia and want to be a little more patient. And maybe he changed his game plan. But, you know, all hitters are not patient enough where they can hit deep in the count. Some guys like to get after it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Stay aggressive. If you get a good fastball to hit early, put a good swing on it. And he hit it hard.
Mookie Betts pops one up. This is foul and out of play. Lands on the screen. Something you'll see at every Major League park this year. The additional screens were installed in time for the 2016 campaign. So now those protective screens, the netting extends all the way to each dugout here at Progressive Field. In some parks, maybe a little bit different as far as how far they've extended them.
Right, every ballpark is set up differently, but that first time through the lineup for Kluber, 7 Red Sox hitters, 3 pitches or less.
One pitch, hit well, deep left. Back is Bird, looking up, and it is gone. Mookie Betts with a 2-run home run here in the 3rd, and the Red Sox strike first and take a 2-0 lead. Betts hit 18 a year ago, so he's a leadoff guy that definitely has some serious thunder.
Well, I'll tell you what, he hit this ball, looked like a fastball, and let's see where, located. It comes back over the middle part to the middle end, and he turns on it, and that ball gets out of here. So a 2-run home run will give the Red Sox an early lead.
Dustin Pedroia looks at a strike.
Corey Kluber gave up 22 home runs last year.
This is bloop toward left, but in is Bird, and he'll make the catch. 1 away. Going to bring up Xander Bogaerts with 1 down here in the 3rd inning. Boston finished just 78 and 84 a year ago. Their manager John Farrell had to take time off on August the 15th. He left the club to undergo chemotherapy treatments for lymphoma. And it was one of those stories that you just kind of shake your head. You never want to see anyone go through that, but there was a lot of good fortune involved because John underwent what he thought was just a basic appendix removal, or hernia surgery. I'm sorry, it was a hernia surgery. And he came out of the surgery and they said, good news is we took care of the hernia. The bad news is we found a mass, a tumor. And the good news was they got it in time.
And remember, we were in Boston when they found that out. We had the chance to see him that very next day.
Yeah.
And then he got to spend time with his very good friend Terry Francona.
Yep. But the good news is he's back. He feels great. Torey Lovullo took over the ball club last year while John was undergoing treatment. Colin Cowgill in right field makes the catch, and let's hear from Terry Francona on facing his good friend John Farrell.
On a personal note, having him out there, he'll be 5 feet away during the national anthem. He's one of my best friends in not just baseball, but in life. And I'm thrilled for him. And, again, once the game starts, it doesn't matter how your relationship is. You want to win so bad. But on a personal level, I'm so happy for him that, it'll be emotional, I'm sure, for him, but I'll probably be that way too.
Now David Ortiz with 2 down takes a strike. I asked John Farrell the other day because he was asked early in his press conference about did he feel a sense of urgency to get the team off to a good start this year for fear of losing his job. And I said, John, after what you've been through, doesn't that kind of change your perspective on all that talk? And he said, when you flirt with mortality, it definitely changes your perspective. But he said it hasn't changed my determination and my desire to win.
Well, right. That's been in there. He's born with that.
Indians with a 3-man shift on the right side of the infield. Uribe, the third baseman, stays on the left side. Came up as a shortstop. And Ortiz wails away at a breaking ball. It's 1-2. Many times the shifts that are employed, who stays on which side of the infield, depends on where those guys maybe feel natural. If you've got a third baseman who was formerly a shortstop, makes sense to just leave him over there by himself. But some guys, they'll take the third baseman and flip him over into the outfield.
Yeah, Boston was one of those teams to do it last year. Toronto was another one of those teams. Everybody has their own way of, you know, dealing with the shifts and what feels most comfortable. We had a very good chance all spring long to watch how these guys take infield and really go through some drills, some fundamental drills with pitchers and everything. And believe me, it works.
Now the 1-2. Ortiz rockets one, a deep center field, and that baby is going to short hop the wall. Davis fires it into the cutoff man, and David Ortiz has the Red Sox third hit in the inning. Now 5 hits in the ball game, and a 2-out double puts him in scoring position for Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah, Corey's left a few pitches up in the zone, and Ortiz stayed on that one. That right there is his patented. That's a Fenway stroke right there to hit it off the monster in left center field, but he finds the gap in left center. A double for Ortiz, who had 37 doubles last year. And his first hit this year will be a double.
37 doubles to go along with the 37 homers at 39 years old last year.
Right.
Now Hanley Ramirez, who was called out on strikes his first time up. A little bit outside, ball 1. That's in the dirt, but he swung and missed at it. So 1 ball, 1 strike.
A little cut fastball from Kluber, which is a very effective pitch for him.
The bat goes
The
flying.
base hit.
It's in the hole and into left field.
Boy, that was perfectly placed. Well, he swings, he misses, but watch the bat take off. And couldn't have placed it any better. That would have been a base hit if the bat counted. It's a pretty good toss right there.
Now that really, you can't blame that on the cold, because we see that in 90-degree temperatures sometimes. When you're fooled, it's sometimes just tough to keep your hands on the bat.
Well, and once you let it go, these guys generate a lot of bat speed, and unless that pine tar's frozen.
One-two pitch. Broken bat. Slow bouncer to second. Inning over. But the Red Sox get on the board first. Mookie Betts blasts one into the cheap seats, and Boston leads it 2-0. the third. Indians down 2-0. Colin Cowgill will lead it off. Then it's Rajay Davis and Jason Kipnis. Fans enjoying the cold but sunny opening day festivities here at Progressive Field. We're joined now by Indians team president Chris Antonetti. And obviously this is a lot better than yesterday, even though the temperature may not make it feel that much better. But look, yesterday was a tough situation for a lot of people involved when it came down to the decision to postpone the game. Right as fans were all clogged up at the gates ready to file in. Tell us what went into it and how it all came about.
Yeah, it was a really difficult decision. I think first and foremost, we had in our minds that, we were going to play. That was our mindset over the weekend. That was our mindset yesterday morning. We recognized that a lot of fans had made plans to come down to the ballpark, a lot of whom came in from out of town or took time off work or kids out of school. So we had every intention of playing. Unfortunately, as the day progressed, the conditions continued to worsen. Instead of it just being cold, it ended up being colder than we thought, windier than expected, and then really what ended up being the deciding factor was once the precipitation stayed and continued to linger throughout the day, which was different than the forecast over the weekend, that's when we started to feel the conditions may start to become unsafe for our players. And so the combination of factors of the cold, the wind, and the precipitation and the wetness and ice on the field got us to the point of making the difficult decision of saying, you know what, it may not be the smart thing to do, despite how much we all wanted to play. And we didn't get there easily. We spent a lot of time thinking about it. We visited with the Red Sox, John Farrell, Dave Nabrowski, Mike Hayes, and their front office who were in town, the umpires, and at the end of it, everyone kind of felt the right thing to do, the smart thing to do would be to postpone until today, as difficult as that may be. And so, we recognize how special opening day is, and we all wanted to play, but we just felt, again, the smart thing to do was just to wait a day, especially given the forecast for today called for no rain and a little bit warmer and much better conditions for playing.
It's really a no-win situation, no matter how you look at it, because it's miserable. Nobody wanted to play. Look at this.
Oh, just below us. Almost had my first play.
Yeah, you weren't going for it. You would have.
It's amazing when it's nowhere close. Matt pretends for it. When it's in the booth, he's under the table.
Exactly. Yeah. He's diving.
I was right there. I was ready.
Yeah.
But it's a situation. Hey, April baseball, whether it's Cleveland, Chicago, you can go anywhere. It's a tough call. And I know when you have a sold-out house, everybody wants to play the game.
We were desperate to play, dying to play yesterday.
I know it.
Just unfortunately, the way things progressed, we just felt it wasn't the smart thing to do. And so now what we'll try to do is, we recognize that a lot of people are out here today and could take advantage of the postponement for today, but we also recognize there's a large group of our fans that wouldn't be able to come back today. So what we've tried to do is find ways to, we can never replace opening day. It's such a special day, and so many fans have planned for it. But what we'd like to try to do is help make them whole in some other way. So we've offered tickets to any 2 games, not just 1 game, but any two games in April and May, and hopefully fans can come back out and enjoy another game here.
Well, that's good planning. I like that, and hopefully they do too. And tomorrow, this series continues tomorrow and Thursday, and the forecast doesn't look much better.
I know. I'm trying to enjoy the sun and today, but yeah, tomorrow, Thursday, and actually when we go into Chicago this weekend in Chicago, we're facing the same thing.
Yeah. So, why don't we just jump on a plane, go back to Arizona, and play there for a few games?
We joked about that. Just play our season in our first month of the season in Goodyear.
Back-to-back strikeouts for David Price, who doesn't seem to have any trouble today. But going back to what we were talking about, Price said yesterday that when he was out just going out and throwing a baseball around, he couldn't feel his fingers.
Yep.
So, I mean, when you get feedback like that from players, that has to factor into the decision as well, I would think.
It definitely does. We got feedback like that from their players, from our players that went out just to try to play catch yesterday for 5 or 10 minutes. And the combination of, again, the wind, the cold, and then the wetness and dampness made it really, really difficult. And we felt it could put the players in danger. If you can't feel your hands, it's difficult to know where a 95-mile-an-hour fastball may end.
Well, and then the fans would have been stuck to their seats. You would have had to get them all out of their seats by the end of the game. That would have been tough.
Only Rick could come up with that. We need de-icer for the fans.
Exactly. Hey.
We didn't think about that part of it. So.
Well, David Price is locked in here at the start with 6 strikeouts. Jason Kipnis with a bouncer to second. The drive goes 1, 2, 3. Chris, thanks for stopping by. Tough day yesterday, but thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for the time.
almost feels a little bit like a holiday or something. You know?
It's just a smile on your face, and you're that kid again running out on the field for the first time. And
all your work that you put in the off-season, spring training, and is getting the wheels going.
When they release all the balloons on the field, the flyover.
Get on the line, national anthem, family there.
I'm very, very excited. Can't wait to be out there with the guys. I can't wait to be out there with the fans as well. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm excited.
Opening day, there's no other day during the season that's like it. There's no question about it. Indians down early 2-0, but a long way to go in this one. Travis Shaw, Brock Holt, Blake Swihart due up for Boston. Travis Shaw with a base hit his first time up. And a breaking ball down low.
Shaw, one of those guys last year in the 6 games he played against the Indians. He hit .435. He was 10 for 23 with a couple of home runs. And Columbus boy, he likes to face the Indians in his very short career to this point.
You know, when it was announced that Shaw would be the opening day, not the opening day, but the starting third baseman, John Farrell made that decision to go with Shaw over Sandoval. A lot of folks in Boston, at least from a media standpoint, chastised Sandoval because, you know, he was quoted as saying he was happy with the decision. Well, what's a guy supposed to say?
Well, we're trying to win, and that's I think what he meant is, you know, the team's trying to win, and I understand it.
Wow, what a pitch by Kluber as he locks up Shaw. That's his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. 1 down here in the 4th inning.
But then again, Matty, you're talking about the Boston media. They can hoot on anything. And there is our Circle K strikeout of the day. Good breaking ball coming inside. Right there on the corner. Locks him up. 4th strikeout for Corey.
Brock Holt will be the batter now. He blooped a single into left field his first time up. Fastball strike. Is this a particularly tough day for an outfielder in that you got to do something to try and keep moving around out there, don't you?
You see the hands are in the pocket. You got to keep your hands warm and continue to blow on them, put them under your arm or in your back pocket or something to keep it warm, because you feel there's not going to be a lot of action out there in between pitches. You try and move. Keep your feet and your hands are the 2 biggest things you got to keep warm for anybody. But the pitcher and catcher, they're in on every pitch and they're pretty much staying warm. But it can be, it can get awfully cold out there. The wind's sort of mild today.
Looks like Davis probably has one of those hand warmers in his back pocket. You just keep it back there as long as you can.
They could have. I mean, compared to yesterday, big difference. You might even have a chance to lose a ball in the sun today, you know, with the high sky that we talked about so much in spring training.
Now the 2-2. He went around. Strike 3, and that's number 5 for Kluber. Here's our great clip of the game from last year. Corey Kluber, one of the most dominant pitching performances you will ever see, struck out 18 St. Louis Cardinals.
Boy, for a team that has never faced him before, it's not an easy job to go out there and face Kluber. He had everything working that day.
And the thing about it is, if I remember right, going into that game, he was winless on the season. Now, that wasn't necessarily because of the way he had pitched. We talked about before, not a lot of run support, but you know, you go from winless into May
Yeah.
It's got to be in the back of your head a little bit, like, man, is this going to be one of those years? Is it ever going to turn for me? And then he pops out a performance like that.
And you know, we talked to him about it, and with him, it's, hey, I just go out and I have to do my thing and I pitch. He's like a robot. He went out there. If you remember last opening day, we opened in Houston. It was a 2-0 game. He lost Dallas Keuchel and the Astros. He pitched very well, but you keep your team in the ball game. Right now, when you're facing David Price, he cannot afford to give up anything else. He knows that.
Well, I know Kluber has great respect for David Price, and Price yesterday said of Corey Kluber that he said, yeah, he's the Klubot, man. He's a machine. Keeps his emotions in check. He's a great pitcher. He said, I just have to go out and put up zeros.
Right. That's how you approach it when you're a starter.
First walk issued by Kluber just missed. And it comes with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Well, 2016 season tickets are still available, include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games for free. Just visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Jackie Bradley Jr. He got it started for Boston in the 3rd inning with a base hit into right field. And he takes in for a strike. The Indians with a runner at first, 2 down. They've got the shift employed for Bradley, trying to take that hole away. See Kipnis out on the outfield grass. That's right about where he hit it that first time up. And he goes fishing. It's 0-2.
Well, he took the first pitch on the inside corner, which was a fastball. He had him swinging at the changeup there. Remember, he had an 0-1 base hit in his first at bat.
Kipnis from the outfield grass will throw him out. Napoli kept his foot on the bag. The inning is over. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Boston 2 and Cleveland nothing. Customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Bottom of the 4th inning will feature Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli, and Carlos Santana as the Indians try to get something going against David Price. The only base runners so far for Cleveland, a pair of back-to-back walks in the 2nd inning to Napoli and Santana. Price has struck out 6. And he had Lindor way out in front, 0-2.
Starting to mix that changeup up in very good spots. first time through, a lot of the right-handers, they were seeing the fastball inside.
And Lindor with a line drive opposite field single, and the Indians have their first hit of the afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did a nice job staying on that ball. He came back with another changeup, and Lindor goes the other way, and that'll be the first hit by the Indians. That one had a little, it was down the middle. Too much of the plate, but Lindor put a good swing on it to stay back and make sure he's going to try and hit it the other way. Nice swing. First hit for the Tribe, and it's a leadoff single here in the 4th.
Today's Levin player profile features Mike Napoli, a former 17th round pick of the Angels back in 2000. Over in his first big league at bat against Justin Verlander. Napoli will turn 35 on Halloween night. Takes a strike. It's 1-1. Seven times Mike Napoli has appeared in the postseason, so he has a wealth of experience in that category. Boy, he had a wicked cut, but fouls it back. It's 1-2. Price is tough to run on, virtually impossible. As you see, there was a pitch to be had, and Napoli upset that he couldn't quite square it up.
Well, last year, only 2 attempts off David Price as far as stolen bases go. They were 0 for 2. I don't know what he did last year to change his game plan, because the year before there was 12 stolen bases against him, 11 the year before that, 11 and 20 in 2011. So maybe that abbreviated windup. He's very quick for a big, tall pitcher to get the ball to home plate.
He's pretty athletic, though, and I'm sure when it came to making that adjustment, wherever it came along the line, it was easy for him to pick it up. Napoli with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Back out of play. Napoli sees more pitches than anybody in the big leagues. He averages 4.34 pitches per plate appearance. And only Ricky Henderson, all time, has seen more per plate appearance.
Yeah, it does something. Well, if you watch him play, you'll understand he's always 2-2, 3-2. This is his second at bat. He's already seen 11 pitches.
Missed up and in, and a full count. This guy's a terrific eye at the plate. Lindor leading off the inning with a base hit, tying run at the plate here in the 4th. Expanded his strike zone there just to stay alive. He didn't want to take this one and leave it in the umpire's hands.
Well, I don't blame him. It's a changeup and it's in a good spot, but once you commit, that's what you have to do. If you can foul off pitches like that to stay alive, that's, boy, it gives you that extra pitch or two to get a base hit on. That was a good pitch by Price that he fouled off. You know, and talking about the stolen base against him, you don't see him throw to first base a whole lot. A lot of times left-handers will throw over there. If you don't throw over there, they never pick up your move.
Foul ball by Napoli. We'll do it again. Lindor wasn't sure if the ball was in play or not. He didn't get a good look at it, so he was taken off.
Well, that's why he hasn't taken off yet, even 3-2. You don't want to strike him out, throw him out. You don't want to make an out on the bases here. In this situation, it's only a 2-run game. He's too tough to run on you. Stay put.
Foul back again. What an at-bat.
Yeah, it really is. Good at-bat.
Well, I was going to say, Rick, too, if you're Francisco Lindor down there, if anybody's going to pick up a nuance, it's going to be Sandy Alomar. But if he doesn't throw over, he never gives you anything to pick up on.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of times left-handers want to keep going to first base, and the more you go over there, the more they can pick you up. So just the look, you know, his best move's when he's going to the plate anyway, so he doesn't waste time throwing over.
Again, Napoli has fouled off everything Price was offered.
10-pitch at bat right now. This is the changeup. It's elevated. He fouled off a really good changeup a couple of pitches ago. But boy, he's hanging in there. This is a terrific at bat. Let's see if he can end it on a good note and get a base hit.
This will be the 11th pitch of the at bat. As Price tries to give the Indians, or I should say Napoli tries to give the Indians a little jolt here. Strike 3 called. That'll be number 7 for David Price. One down here in the 4th.
Well, I'll tell you what, Napoli fouled off just about everything he had to offer. He thought that was a good pitch, right on the outside edge. Took something off at only 87, so it must have been the changeup right on the outside corner.
Napoli thought it was outside, but instead of ball 4, it's strikeout number 7 for David Price, and now Carlos Santana, who drew a walk his first time up.
There you go. That's not much of a move to go to first base. You see how short it is, and when you get your lead, if you can get your lead early, and Lindor's talking to Sandy right now, I don't know if he's got a better move than that. That's not much of a move to pick you off. For David Price, last 7 hitters, he's either been 0-2 or 1-2 to the hitter, which, boy, certainly benefits him.
Just inside. Just does catch the inside part of the plate, and a 1 ball 1 strike count. Breeze blowing in from right center field as Price lobs one over to first. He almost doesn't look natural when he throws it, does
No, it's just saying I'm paying attention to you. You know, so it's not a move to pick anybody off. But as I mentioned, for a big guy, he delivers that ball to the home plate, and he's very quick with it.
Upstairs, 2-1. Santana pops one back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santana, 66 home runs over the last 3 seasons. Down low and a full count. Carlos 4 days shy of his 30th birthday. Smacked up the middle and through into center field. LINDOR will stop at second. And the Indians have a pair of hits now here in the 4th inning. And with a 1 out, Yan Gomes will have a chance to get the Indians on the board. With more on the Tribe's catcher, let's go down to Andre Knott.
You know, Yan Gomes had a frustrating 2015 at bat, and in the end of the season, he really started getting it going. So he went back to Tennessee. Him and Mike Barnett just worked on shortening his stride. He felt like by shortening it and getting his hands out quick, it would help him as a hitter. And in the spring training, it looked like he was the old Yan Gomes. This would be a good time for him to get a knock right here, guys.
Yeah, they need to get on the board. Santana with the second hit of the inning and of the game.
You forget 2 years ago, Yan Gomes won the American League Silver Slugger Award at the catching position. And he goes right back up the middle, and it's through. Around third, LINDOR will score. Santana will make it to third. Yan Gomes delivers an RBI single, and the Indians are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, there you go. Andre, you wanted a base hit. You got it, my friend. Boy, this thing looked like Pedroia almost knocked it down. Gets under the glove of Price. You're going to see Pedroia going after. He was jockeying LINDOR back.
Price almost got it too, right?
I know it. It was almost both of them. And Santana did a nice job going to third base. He was off and running, so now they've got a really good opportunity to tie this ball game up. 3 hits in the inning. It's a 2-1 ball game, and Bird's going to have another opportunity.
Boy, is that nice for Yan Gomes to get that hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
Now Marlon Byrd, and takes a ball in the dirt. Good block by SWIHART, and the runners both hold.
Yeah, Gomes had a tough year last year hitting with runners in scoring position. So you get up there, you get an opportunity, you deliver, you get yourself on the board. That's what you want to do, get a little confidence going.
Byrd struck out his first time up. Pulls it foul, third base side. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You know, going back to Gomes, he told me when we talked in Arizona that when he came back last year, he said, you know, everybody else has got about 100 at-bats or so under their belt. And he goes, I felt like I wanted to get to where they were at. I wanted to get those 100 at-bats, and you just can't do it. You know, it just takes so much time.
Yeah, but
really
it doesn't stop you
patience.
from trying.
You're right. Byrd takes, and it's called a strike, 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's got Byrd talking to himself right now. Comes back inside with a changeup and made a very good pitch. You know, usually you like to look for that ball away where you can hit it in the air and at least try and get that man in from third base. He's going to try and tie him up again.
You know, you mentioned back in the second inning when Gomes hit the fly ball to deep center field, got Napoli from second to third base, that being a productive out. Sometimes a productive out is disguised, such as the case I think in this inning. Mike Napoli ended up striking out, but that at bat, what was it, a dozen pitches?
Yeah.
Has forced Price to really work hard. He's already at 25 pitches in this inning.
Yeah.
So while that goes down as a K, that was a productive out. 2 and 2.
Well, good pitchers don't give you many opportunities, and the opportunities that you do get against them, you've got to take advantage of it. And here's the second time now they've had an opportunity, even though in the second inning they didn't have any hits, but they had first and second, nobody on, and he was able to get out of it easily. But now they've got him on the ropes. They can at least tie the game here.
2-2, bloop foul right side, and that will find its way on one bounce into the seats.
And you can see how Bird's trying to do it. He's not giving in. He's not trying to pull a ball. He's down to 2 strikes, so he's waiting on the baseball, trying to fight it off, go the other way anyway to get that guy in from third base. He fights this one off. You see how deep he let it track? into the zone, he's not going to get fooled. He's just going to try and stay alive and do anything he can to get that man in. And this is what veteran hitters do.
7 times the Indians have fouled off a 2-strike pitch in this inning. Make it 8.
Yeah, keep going. That's Price mixing his pitches very well. The Indians hitters now, that second time through, are making the adjustment. They're 3 for 6. And basically, they're staying on it. Lindor got the base hit away on a changeup, and the other 2 hits up the middle. So they're trying to stay on the baseball, go up the middle other way. Pretty good approach.
This 2-2 is pulled to left field. Holt will make the catch, tagging at third. Santana's coming home. Throw goes to second base, and the Indians have tied the game.
Now, how do you like that at bat? There's another productive out by the Indians right there. Bird, a nice job until he finally got a pitch up in the zone that Bird was able to take advantage of, and he gets it in the air to left field. You see the high breaking ball. So he stayed back, and then he speeds up his bat, and Santana can score easily. They don't even draw a throw. The Indians come back. They tie it up. Well, good job.
You know, you always talk about offense being a team concept, and fans want to talk about who's the guy that's going to make the offense go. It can't be a guy.
No, it's
and this
not.
inning really has proved that. There's a line drive base hit by Uribe in a left field. And stopping at second base is Yan Gomes. So the Indians have wrapped out 4 singles here in the 4th off Price.
You see, that's the mistake I think a lot of teams make. They figure, I have to do this. I have to do this. This is going to take a team offense to win here in Cleveland. And I think they realize that, and it shows this second time through the lineup against Price. There you go, Uribe hit a ball hard into left field. They have 4 hits in the inning, so now you really made them work in this inning. Carl Willis going to go out and have a talk with him, but the inning is still going. Cowgill gets a chance to keep it going and give the Indians a lead.
I'll tell you one thing, Rick. At 37 years old, Juan Uribe still has pretty good bat speed.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he can swing it. I mean, Bird, they can hit. They know what it takes to hit. Boy, they've got a lot of at-bats under their belt.
Well, let's see if Colin Cowgill can deliver a tie-breaking hit here with 2 down in the 4th. And a foul back. Strike call, it's 0-2. Cowgill just recently turned 30 years old. Cowgill has bounced around with the Diamondbacks, the Oakland A's, the Mets, the Angels, now here with the Indians. 2-strike pitch from Price is strike 3 called. So Price gets his 8th strikeout, but the Indians hang 4 hits on him in the inning. They played a pair of runs, and we're all tied at 2. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Two-two as we head to the 5th inning. Both lineups will be turning over for the 3rd time in this 5th inning. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts coming up for Boston, the top 3. Betts a 2-run homer in the 3rd, giving Boston the 2-0 lead at that time. And a breaking ball drops in for strike 1. Nice curveball.
Well, he caught a fastball that ran back over the plate towards the inside part of it, and he smoked it.
45 out of the 63 pitches from Corey Kluber have been strikes.
Well, this is a big inning now for Corey and the Indians to have that 0, that shutdown inning we talk about so often. Last year, Corey had a 2.63 ERA in innings after the Indians have scored. We were on to really put a 0 on the board.
There's that fastball you talked about, that comeback fastball, reverse sinker, starts over the off the plate and then just darts back over the corner. Stayed on that breaking ball. And Betts has his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
This young man can hit. There's a breaking ball. He stayed up a little bit, but he didn't try and do much with it. Oh, he takes it the other way. Didn't hit it hard. Placed it perfectly. They get their 6th hit, and for Betts his 2nd.
Dustin Pedroia has flied out twice. Once to right, once to left.
It's a combination with Pedroia likes to stay on the baseball. Betts can run a little bit. He had 21 stolen bases last year. Pedroia's got that hole he can shoot at between 1st and 2nd. And base stealers were 16 out of 23 against Kluber last year.
Foul right back. It's quickly 0-2. Tap to short. LINDOR goes to 2nd. They get the force there on to 1st. Close, but Pedroia beats it out. Wasn't a hard hit ball. Normally you don't even think about that being a double play, and they almost turned it.
Yeah, they made it a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. LINDOR just made sure he gives KIPNIS a good throw. He steps behind the base, and you can see Pedroia just hits the backside of the bag to beat it out. Yeah, they needed that ball hit a little bit harder. That's why when you're running through the base at first base, I always tell you as a base runner, try and hit the front part of the bag. That's that extra step or an extra foot. Sometimes that could make a difference. And you did see the first base coach over there, Ruben Amaro, this year for the Boston Red Sox. Former GM for the Phillies and played here back in the 90s.
Yes, indeed.
For a couple of years.
Thing I was watching on that play, Rick, was Mookie Betts going into 2nd base. He started his slide before the bag, even though his momentum carried him over 2nd base. That's one of the new rule changes. If you have to start your slide before you get to the base, otherwise you can automatically be ruled a double play.
Well, I saw a double play last night in a ball game where they called it. And you know, we'll see how that's going to be something to see in the first month or so of the season, I think, how that translates.
Ruben Amaro is being told by first base umpire Bill Welke to get back into the coach's box. Ball's hit to left field, and Berg got a late jump. He's back on the warning track, makes the catch and slams into the wall, hangs on. Now Pedroia will race all the way back to first base.
Yeah, he made up some ground there. It looked like he was fooled on it originally. The ball got over his head, but he was able to get back and hold on to the ball, which was nice. And Betts was all the way down to second base, right into the webbing. Makes the catch. Out number 2. Way to stay with it.
A terrific play, and there are 2 down in the inning for David Ortiz.
They thought he went past the bag and didn't retouch it. He was right at second base and went back. He didn't have to retouch. He never went past it.
Ortiz doubled just to the left of straightaway center field his first time up. Inside. Ball 1.
Let's take a look at Betts. Here you go. He knows
Pedroia.
it might, or no. Excuse me, Pedroia. There you go. He retagged. Yeah.
Nice block by Gomes. A ball in the dirt.
Sure was. That ball saves a base. That's a lot in a tie game. Gives a big hitter an opportunity to drive him in if that ball gets away from him. Allows Pedroia to go to second, but he keeps him at first.
Ortiz got a piece of it, but it's into the glove of Gomes. 2-1.
There's a pitch down out of the strike zone. He's able to get Ortiz to swing over the top of.
Way up out of the zone. 3-1. Two ball game after the Indians played at 2 in the bottom of the 4th to tie it up. And Ortiz pulls it foul. Count is full. Runner Pedroia will be off at first on the 3-2 pitch to Ortiz. And he gets a piece of that to stay alive. We were talking earlier, Rick, when Ortiz was up with the shift on and the work they do in spring training, preparing for the different scenarios that come up with that shift on. And one of the things they worked on was balls hit to the outfield. Where does everybody go? Because now you've got guys who are in sort of different positions than they would normally be. So they work on this very scenario. Runner on first, shifts on, ball hit to the left field gap or down the line. Where does everybody go to line themselves up? Runner goes, 3-2 pitch hit in the air to right. Back is Cowgill, drifting onto the warning track and makes the catch. No runs, a hit, a man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th, tied at 2. Giants and Red Sox tied 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order for the Tribe: Rajai Davis, Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor. Davis 0 for 2, has struck out twice. And a big swing and a miss. These two guys were teammates at the start of last year.
Well, the Indians didn't have a hit until last inning. And they really made David Price work to get out of that inning. What was it, a 32 pitch inning?
33, but who's counting?
Not me.
Tommy Bowe.
Oh, really?
Davis checks it's low. You know, I asked Price the other day if it gives him any peace of mind knowing he's going to be in one place for a while, because you think 2 years ago he was in Tampa, then he gets traded to Detroit, and then at the deadline he gets traded to Toronto. Now he signs along. I mean, $217 million ought to give you all the peace of mind you need.
Yeah, right.
I mean, who are we kidding, right? But he said it's extremely comforting to know that I don't have to worry, because he said really the last couple of years I've been wondering, where am I going? Am I staying? Am I going to get traded? Because he's been rumored, going into his last couple of years in Tampa Bay, to always be on the move, because you think for a small market club,
well, they couldn't afford him.
Huge, trade bait, huge bargaining chip. Davis drives one to deep right. Oh my, what a catch by Betts.
Wow.
An incredibly athletic play on any day, let alone one where the game time temperature was 34 degrees.
What an athlete. That's a heck of a catch. That's a triple for Davis if it gets over his head. He's going to go back. Look how shallow he was playing, Matt. He jumps up and times it perfectly. And I mean, he is extended to the max. It goes in. Boy, that is a whale of a catch. And look at who appreciates it. Nobody more than David Price. What a great play. Wow. What a great play.
That might be a game changer right there.
No doubt.
As you said, if it's over his head, Davis is standing on third now with nobody out.
Yep.
It's only chopped to first. Hanley Ramirez will take it himself, 2 down. Let's go down and check in with Andre Knott, who's roaming around the new digs here at the ballpark.
Absolutely. Phase 2 of the renovations here at Progressive Field has really brought the flavor of Cleveland out even more. Last year it was the corner, and they brought different places out there. Now behind home plate, I found one of my favorite places out here, guys. It's called Happy Dog. And now everybody likes a hot dog when you come to the ball game, and they have them several different ways. You can get the Southern-style barbecue dog, but I got one just for you, Rick. They put Fruit Loops on top of the hot dog for you.
You know, I saw that. That's not my cup of tea.
I think you'd like it.
No. No.
What about the mac and cheese hot dog, Andre?
Yeah, we get a little mac and cheese for you.
Well, it's the mac and cheese, and then it's Fruit Loops on top of that.
Right, and then a little bacon if you want to do that too.
Oh no. Come on, I'm too old. You trying to let me have a heart attack or what?
No, I don't want a heart attack. I just want you to sleep well at night.
Well, Francisco
I do
Lindor,
very well, thank you.
He's sleeping well. His second hit of the afternoon. First one to right field. This one he turns on it, pulls it to left. It's a 2-out single here in the 5th for Cleveland.
Well, Lindor took the changeup away. Last at bat, he gets a breaking ball and it's a hanger, and he pulls this one, speeds up his bat. So Francisco 2 for 3 today. All the hits so far for the Tribe have been singles.
Now Mike Napoli, who had a tremendous at bat his last time up, he wound up taking a called third strike on a borderline pitch. But that was after, what was it, 12? 12,
12, but who's counting? Murph.
Napoli not leaving anything to the imagination with that swing. It's 0-2 though. A rough year with Boston a season ago. Just never really got on track, but then when he went to Texas, it was like something clicked for him again, and he found
went back home, you know, where he played a long time and had very good years.
Wow, 3 pitches all executed to perfection, and the inning is over. That's 9 strikeouts for David Price, but he also got some help from his defense here in the 5th. We're still tied at 2. customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. That's free. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB and sign up now to catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Well, here in the 6th inning for Boston, Hanley Ramirez, Travis Shaw, and Brock Holt due up. Ramirez 0 for 2, has struck out, grounded out. And Kluber starts him off with a curveball that misses for ball 1. Andre showed us the little glimpse of the new renovation project down behind home plate that has really opened that concourse area up. The other new addition to the ballpark that fans are really going to notice when they come out this summer as that ball squips through the middle of the infield is the brand new scoreboard perched atop the left field bleachers. I mean, it is it's mammoth, and B, visually it's just stunning.
Yeah, and a new sound system as well. That you can see videos, that whole screen, or as much as you can see even on the outside.
Yeah, that's pure video.
Yes, it is. And if they show replays or anything like that, it's the biggest scoreboard I think in the American League, isn't it? I believe it is. 13,000 square feet as far as video goes.
That's bigger than your house.
Well, I'd like to have that in my living room. Be a nice view to watch baseball, basketball, and football, wouldn't it?
Might bother the neighbors late at night, though.
That's okay.
2-2 our score. We're in the 6th. Boston with their leadoff man aboard. Hanley Ramirez, his first hit of the year. Travis Shaw's 1 for 2 today. Great stop again by Gomes on a low pitch. It's 1-1. Travis Shaw was called out on strikes his first time. He rockets one into right field. Cowgill cuts it off. He's going to make the strong throw to third base, but it's a little bit offline. And Ramirez hustles in. 1st and 3rd for Boston to open the 6th now.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a nice job by Ramirez to get himself over to third base. That ball was hit very hard. Cowgill had a chance on the throw. It's a one hop. You can't ask for anything more as an outfielder. Here comes the throw. It's a little off target. Ramirez gets in. He was going to challenge him. That ball was hit hard, so a lot of times guys would stop at second base and not risk it, but he risks and is successful. So now that makes a difference in this inning. 1st and 3rd and nobody out. And that's going to bring Mickey Callaway out and have a talk to Kluber and his defense on the infield.
It's also going to get the Indians bullpen activated as Kluber is about to make his 85th pitch of the afternoon. Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Mookie Betts got the scoring started in the 3rd inning, his first home run of the year, a 2-run shot to the bleachers. Indians would counter in the bottom of the 4th inning. Yan Gomes with an RBI single, Marlon Byrd with a sacrifice fly, and that tied the game up at 2 apiece. And it stayed that way until now. Boston threatening, though, with 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and Brock Holt, the batter, he's 1 for 2.
Well, this is a guy we talked about earlier that finds a way to try and put it in play. Kluber, a strikeout guy. You'd like to get a strikeout here if you could. He's going to have to make some very good pitches because this guy can put it in play.
SWIHART missed. It's 0-2.
Got a good chance now. Getting ahead of him. try and expand that strike zone.
Now this is where you try to either expand the strike zone or trust your catcher and throw one down on the dirt.
Oh, he trusts Gomes. Gomes made a couple of saves earlier today.
Oh, he just painted her. It looked like he painted the outside corner, and John Hirschbeck said no.
Wolf tried to go for that backdoor breaking ball and hit the outside corner. It's a little off the edge. You can see Gomes trying to bring it in. Yeah, it was outside.
Low heater missed, and it's 2-2.
It's okay, trying to make the perfect pitch, and that's what he wants to do. That's the benefit when you can get ahead of the hitter. You don't have to give in and try and throw a strike there. When he's able to lay off now, this could be the pitch of record right here, the 2-2 pitch. See where Holt looked back and talked to the umpire and wanted to make sure it's a 2-2 count.
Punches it toward left field. Marlon Byrd won't get there, and the Red Sox will take the lead.
That's exactly what I was talking about. A guy that he's not going to swing through it. He was going to give anything to put it in play, and he just serves it to left field. And the Red Sox do a nice job to get him home. That's a pitch down and away. I don't know if that was a changeup or not, but it was in a pretty good location. But he does a nicer job to just put it in play. He gets that runner home, and it's 3 consecutive hits, and the Red Sox retake the lead.
And first and second, nobody out for Blake SWIHART, who walked his last time up. Slowly chopped to first. Napoli goes to second. They get the force there. That's all they'll get. Shaw to third, and SWIHART at first with 1 out now.
You know, Mike Napoli, I'll tell you, that's risky, but he went and he says, I got to get that lead running. You still keep the double play. You can see Lindor turns into a first baseman right there and actually just goes for the stretch. He knew he was not going to have a play at first base. But you still have a double play in order if you're the middle infield. Bradley, a guy that can get down the line pretty well. Boy, you'd like to keep those runners stranded if possible.
Well, now Jackie Bradley, who singled and scored in the third, grounded out his last time up. Kluber gets ahead with a first pitch strike. Oh, it gets away, and the Red Sox get another run.
Well, that one was almost impossible for Gomes. I think it sounded like it went off his mask. That one hit about, I'd say, 4 to 5 feet out in front of home plate. Really a difficult one to block. Now it went off his glove and then off his shin guard. And trickles away, so that's another run for it. Makes it a 4-2 game on the wild pitch.
Removes the possibility of a double play. 1 out, SWIHART at second base. Foul back. 1-2. Check, did he go? He did not, says third base umpire DJ Rayburn. And a 2-2 count.
Check it out from the side. He held up.
That's high, full count. Mookie Betts waits on deck. Could be the last hitter of the game for Kluber right here. See how Francona wants to play it. Lineup turning over for the 4th time with Mookie Betts on deck. 3-2. And that's ball 4. You got the right-hander Manship ready in the bullpen. 3 right-handed hitters coming up. And here comes Tito.
Yes.
So Corey Kluber goes 5 1/3 innings. But 3 hits and now a walk here in the 6th inning has given the Boston Red Sox a 4-2 lead. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for right-hander Jeff Manship, who will be coming on when we come back.
Just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets are located in the family deck out at Progressive Field and are only available at Indians.com.
Now the Indians go to the bullpen for the first time here in 2016. And Jeff Manship is the new pitcher. Manship went to spring training last year as a non-roster minor league invite and came out on the other end with one of the most impressive years of bullpen work in Indians history. He had an 0.92 ERA in the 32 games that he pitched in.
Where's the milk cart? Have you seen this man?
And he said, you know, this is one of the first times I've gone to spring training knowing that I had a job, knowing that I had a spot on the team.
Well, he worked very hard to do it. He had, as you mentioned, a terrific year, and he wants to duplicate that again. Don't know if he can actually duplicate the numbers he put up in the 30 innings that he had with the ERA, but I mean, they called on him. He did any job he was asked to do, so he could be a very big part of this bullpen this year.
In the 32 games that he pitched in last year, he only gave up runs in 4 of them. It's hit hard but foul. Mookie Betts hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd, and he had a base hit in the 5th inning. Red Sox have 9 hits now in the afternoon, with 3 of them coming here in the 6th inning already. It's a Boston club that slumped to a 78-84 record a year ago, but many have picked them as the favorite maybe in the American League. I don't understand why people have just shied away from Kansas City the way they have in terms of making their picks.
Well, who cares? Picks are most everybody's wrong anyway. You know, who cares what they say to start the year? You never know what can happen. It's so hard to predict what a team's going to do. It all depends on their health and how everything goes. Everybody comes out of spring training feeling pretty good about themselves for the most part.
But when you're the world champs, don't you have to just say, well, until somebody takes it away from them?
Usually in other sports you say that, don't you? For the most part.
Down low, full count.
Well, they probably love it.
I think they do. I think they thrived on it, you know, a year ago.
Normally you have the target on your back when you come back as a winner. But people keep saying no, they're not that good, or
Manship with a 3-2. And it's hit hard to Uribe. He'll step on the bag at 3rd, throw to first,
nice
and ending. Double play.
Nice play.
Nicely done by the 37-year-old Juan Uribe at the hot corner. But the Red Sox get a pair, and they lead it now 4-2. District ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is back. It includes your first drink. Grab some friends, catch the game from the corner or the drink rails in left field. District tickets are available only online at Indians.com/district ticket. There's the corner, and of course the new drink rail section in left field. Also part of the new renovations.
I'd want to be in the corner where the sun's still shining.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that's my pick for the day.
The left field corner would be better when the summer months arrive, huh? When
Yeah.
it gets warm, you want a little shade.
That's a ways down the road.
Carlos Santana has walked, singled, and scored a run. Indians down a pair to David Price in Boston. Going into the bottom of the 6th now. Good pitch. And it evens the count.
Yankees and Astros were washed out yesterday in the Bronx. They're 2-2 in the 7th inning. That was Dallas Keuchel and Masahiro Tanaka, the scheduled starter.
That's who started, correct.
And the 1-2. Just a bit out of the zone. See if the Indians can come right back and answer. Price is already at the mid-90 mark in his pitch count. Santana pulls it slowly to third. Charging is Travis Shaw, and he makes a good throw, one away. The 2nd inning and the 6th and the 4th inning, rather, the even-numbered innings have been the trouble spots for Price today. He needed 23 pitches to get through the 2nd, 33 to get through the 4th. That's when the Indians scored a couple of runs against him. We'll see if they have that same kind of success here in the 6th.
Well, and he's at 95 pitches, so you think that this is going to be his last inning.
Yeah, nobody throwing in the Boston bullpen. Slowly chopped to short. And Bogaerts takes care of Gomes, 2 away.
Well, 2016 season tickets still available, and they include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games for free, which is a 40% discount. Go ahead and visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Marlon Byrd is the batter. Byrd drove in the Indians' 2nd run in the 4th inning with a sac fly. Swung out and missed.
Put up a very good at-bat to get that run home to tie the game back in the 4th. Boy, he's going to have to battle again.
Our scoreboard never said this. Oh, this is the newest scoreboard there is.
The only inning in which David Price has retired the side in order was the 1st. I beg your pardon. He also did it in the 3rd. 1st and the 3rd. Trying to do it again here in the 6th. For time, steps away. Pulls it just foul, third base side. Indians and Red Sox today, tomorrow night, Thursday night, scheduled 6 p.m. First pitch time for both Wednesday and Thursday night. Third chase is one in the dirt. And David Price finishes the afternoon with his 10th strikeout. And Boston leads it 4-2.
Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. David Price, handshakes all around in the Boston dugout. His day appears to be over after he made 103 pitches. Right-hander warming in the Red Sox bullpen. And so we'll see if Boston's pen can hold up that 4-2 advantage. Meanwhile, Jeff Manship trying to hold the Red Sox at bay. He'll face Pedroia, Bogaerts, and then David Ortiz, though Russ Detweiler, the left-hander, the lone lefty in the Indians bullpen, is up and could come on to face Ortiz. Pedroia is 0 for 3. And that's of note because he has hit in 9 consecutive opening day starts for Boston. And since 1913, he's the only Red Sox player to hit in each of his first 9 career opening day starts consecutively.
You said earlier the only other Red Sox to play in more opening days consecutively, Carl Yastrzemski.
Yes.
What a career he had. Tremendous player.
He was one of those guys, Rick, I suppose because he spanned literally 3 decades, right? He started in the 60s, played all through the 70s into the 80s. He was like spring. Every year you see yes. You just expected to see him out there.
Triple Crown winner.
Pedroia fouls out. 1 down.
Well, David Price, the hefty price tag it took Boston to sign him as a free agent in the offseason. And his first start looked like it's a sound investment for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Very good.
He mixed his pitches very well. You know, the slider, the changeup, moved the fastball around, got some outs. The Indians hurt him in the 4th inning, where he had a 33 pitch inning. But other than that, he kept it pretty simple. Allowed 5 hits on just 2 runs.
Chopper to third, Uribe. Low throw, Napoli couldn't dig it out.
That ball stayed down on him. He was expecting it to come up a little bit. That'll be an error on Uribe. I mean, an easy play for him to throw. You can see he just spiked it into the ground. And watch that ball stay down. Mike Napoli thought it was going to come up a little bit more than what it did, and it gets by him. Allows him to go to second base. It almost looked like it hit the lip of the grass in the dirt. And that may have kept it down a little bit.
Looks like they may intentionally pass David Ortiz here. With the right-handed hitting Hanley Ramirez on deck. And then you've got consecutive left-handed hitters, so then you can go to Detweiler then perhaps. Although they do have a right-hander up in the pen as well. Java Chamberlain just now started to get loose. So there's ball 4, the intentional walk to Ortiz.
Come on, Hanley, make him pay, buddy.
And Hanley Ramirez, who's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored, to the plate.
Well, right now the Indians certainly want to keep it a 2-run ball game. See if Manship can get a double play ball like he did back in the 6th inning. Try and pick up his defense a little bit.
First pitch strike. Before about the position change a year ago for Hanley Ramirez. In his first 10 major league seasons, he only played shortstop and third base.
Yeah,
he's only played
left side of the infield, right?
So you figure after 10 years of only going to one of those two spots, and now all of a sudden you're in left field. Definitely is an adjustment.
Well, they felt maybe it would be a little easier for the left field in Fenway Park. You're playing a little closer. That wall it can be a friend, but it didn't help him at all.
And I think what maybe turned some of the media off that covered him, some of the fans off that watched him, was his seemingly
nonchalant,
indifferent attitude when he was in left field.
Nonchalant, yeah.
And there were reports that
you can see
really
why.
go out and work at it.
Well, yeah, you can see why. You don't see him out there early working off the wall or something, and yeah, you can see how that would bother some people.
But there's no denying that he's a talented player and certainly has an ability to be a force with the bat.
He was never a good defensive shortstop. I mean, his bat played. That's why he was able to go out there and play shortstop. And that's his biggest plus, is obviously the bat. Hit homers, drive in runs. But you're getting to the point now where a lot of teams pay big dividends for defense and pitching and manship and not throw him a strike. So now the Indians in deep trouble with bases loaded, just one out.
And after the intentional walk to Ortiz, he walks Ramirez to load him up. And now Terry Francona will go to the left-hander Ross Detweiler to try and get out of a bases loaded one-out jam in the 7th with the Tribe down 4-2. Continues tomorrow night when the Tribe hosts the Red Sox here at Progressive Field. Alan Jensen lead things off at 5:30, and we'll have the first pitch for you at 6 right here on Sports Time Ohio. April and the OH is presented by Meyer. Ross Detweiler all set to make his Cleveland Indians debut. Detweiler was a minor league invite to spring training. And that was one of the most talked about elements of spring trainings. How how the bullpen was going to round out. Would they take a left-hander? Would it be two left-handers? And as you know, they had a number of them sort of vying, and as they started falling by the wayside, it was literally Ross Detweiler was the last man standing of that group.
Yeah, and only one of them out of the 8 relievers coming to open the season here in Cleveland. But the key is you have to get guys that can get outs, whether it's left-handed or right-handed. If you know, ideally, Terry told us in spring, I'd like to have 2 left-handers because sometimes you have to match up in the 6th inning, and you can also come back later in the 8th. But if you only have one, it's hard to tell when that out is going to come, whether it's in the middle part of the game or later. But you have a chance of being used every day when you're the lone lefty.
One-two pitch. Chuck him out looking. Shaw doesn't like it, but Hirschbeck punches him out 2 away.
Well, take a look at it. The ball's going to be on the outer part of the plate. 93. He thought it was outside and off the plate. John Hirschbeck makes the call, and it might have been a little bit outside. Gomes brings it back in a little. Framed it, gets the 2nd out, and a big one. They got to keep him off the board. Now 1 more out away.
Brock Holt, 2 for 3 on the day. Takes inside ball 1. I mentioned it earlier, and it's worth repeating, especially now, given the way things have played out, that David Price said I used to refer to Brock Holt as Babe Holt because he was always getting a big hit when he played against him. Well, he got a big hit earlier today. It broke the tie and gave Boston a 3-2 lead in the 6th inning. And it was almost a carbon copy of the base hit he had in the 2nd inning. Just kind of flares one the opposite way.
Well, he served it. He finds a way to put the ball in play. He doesn't try to hit for power. But that's all it took right there. He had 1st and 3rd, and Klober had him down in the count 0-2, and he was going for a strikeout. He missed, got back to a 2-2 count, and he just served that ball out there to break the tie. And they were able to add one after that on a wild pitch.
So bases still loaded. Now 2 outs. And a 1-1 count on Holt. Just missing there, 2-1. Xander Bogaerts, who reached on the error by Uribe, is at 3rd. Ortiz, who was intentionally walked, at 2nd. And Ramirez, who drew a walk, at 1st. There's a strike call, 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Line to 3rd. Uribe snatches it to end the inning, and the Red Sox leave them loaded. Stretch time in Cleveland. Indians on top 4-2.
16. I think the way we finished last year, it was good. You know, we got together. I got to know the guys a lot better, and we were having fun. We had a great chemistry going, and we had a couple of guys this year, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The chemistry that we have right now coming up to the season will be huge.
Bottom of the 7th inning. And the Indians have to try and make it a comeback against the Boston bullpen. Red Sox go to Junichi Tazawa.
The right-hander, last year 61 appearances. His record was 2-7, and an ERA up there for a 4.1 ERA. The Indians with 9 outs left. And you're figuring that they acquired their closer last year, Craig Kimbrell. So you figure if the game remains like this, you'll see him in the 9th. So you got some work to do with your 9 outs left.
Juan Uribe to lead it off. Tyler Naquin has moved to the on-deck circle, so we'll see him make his major league debut for the Indians. Uribe trying to get something started for Cleveland here in the 7th. He's 1 for 2 on the day, and Tazawa's pitch in the dirt. And away. 2 balls and a strike. Uribe sharply singled to left field in the 4th inning. And he missed inside. 3-1.
Well, that's what you need, that base runner. Get that base runner aboard, bring the tying run to the plate.
To short. BOGAERTS retires and 1 away. So Tyler Naquin about to make his major league debut. What a job he did in spring training this year. There was an opportunity once Abraham Almonte was hit with an 80-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. It really was a wide open contest, and Tyler Naquin simply went out and won the job.
Yeah, he played very well offensively, defensively. But now that's phase 1. Phase 2 is, okay, you're on the big league club. Now you've got to play hard to stay here. But he worked awfully hard in the offseason. The winter development program down there for the 2 months in Winter Haven. The strength and conditioning program that he went through.
That's what he did in spring training, to just flat out win the job on the club. And the only reason he wasn't in the starting lineup today was that he got David Price on the mound, tough left-hander.
Yeah, do you want to throw the young man in against David Price? But you know, it doesn't matter. Price is tough on anybody. He only allowed 5 hits to begin with, and Lindor had 2, Santana had 1, Gomes had 1. They had 4 out of the 5 in the 1 inning. So you take your chances.
Naquin down on strikes. Tazawa gets the punch out, and there are 2 away. the way David Price pitches, I mean, last year his ERA was 2.45 in his 32 starts. The Indians scored 2 runs in 6 innings today. That's a good day against David Price.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit better than the norm.
Now Rajay Davis, who's had a tough Indians debut, 0 for 3. And robbed of a hit that might have been, I said it at the time, might have been a game changer. And the way things have played out, it certainly is true. He had a line drive to right field that Mookie Betts raced back, leaped up, and made a great catch on. Otherwise, it's a leadoff triple.
Right.
And who knows what
with the game tied at that point in time at 2.
Ramirez to the railing, no play.
It was a beautiful catch, and Betts was playing very shallow. He has to go back, and then all of a sudden, at the last minute, reach up. That ball gets over his head. It's a triple, but it was a tremendous play. Very athletic play, and look at David Price was pleased because that's leading off the inning. At worst, would have been a double.
Yeah.
But with Davis's speed, I'm thinking triple.
Good breaking ball to Zawa. That thing just dove straight down. That's 1 and 2. Strikes him out to end the inning. 7 in the books. It remains 4-2 Boston. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, we head now to the 8th inning with Boston leading at 4-2, and the Indians go back to the bullpen after Ross Detweiler retired the only 2 he faced to end the 7th inning, and a great job by the left-hander to get out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. Right-hander Jabba Chamberlain will make his Cleveland Indians debut. Last year split between Detroit and Kansas City. Pitched in 36 games. Had an 0-2 mark with a 4.88 ERA. Rajay Davis goes from center to left. Tyler Naquin is now in center field, and Marlon Byrd goes from left field over to right. That's a new outfield alignment. And for Boston, Blake Swihart, Jackie Bradley, and Mookie Betts due up. Jabba Chamberlain signed a minor league deal in the offseason with the Indians. Came to camp to win a job and did exactly that. Strike to the outside corner. He was pretty consistent with his message all spring long in that he just feels at this point in his career, given where he was when he came up, when he was just an absolute phenom, I guess, with New York. You know, he had the fastball, and it's New York, and you know, he kind of came out of nowhere to all of a sudden be just this guy that was practically unhittable, late inning relief guy, to then they kind of moved him to starter, and then back and forth, and then elbow problems and everything that he's been through since then. And now at this stage in his career, he just said, I just feel blessed to still be doing this for as long as I have, and be in the big leagues as long as I have. And he really looked at this as a great opportunity, and hopefully he can look. You can be a mentor and you can be a great leader, but you still have to be able to go out and perform.
Sure you do.
And he knows that better than anyone.
Well, he's going to get his opportunity, as the rest of the bullpen will. You know, with Tito here, the starter's going to take you usually deeper into the game than most people will. At least that's what they did last year. They were up there in the league in innings pitched. Takes a little pressure off the bullpen, so when your job is called upon, once it, you know, filters down and it settles in, everybody does their job, it'll be very good. That's what they're hoping for.
SWIHART 0 for 2. He has struck out. He also walked. And he lays off the slider. So a leadoff walk here in the 8th.
Fifth walk by Indians pitchers today. Kluber had a pair in his 5 1/3. Manship had an intentional walk and another one.
Rick, I guess in some ways it's maybe a double-edged sword. At this point in his career, you know, Jabba has maybe more of a feel and an understanding of how to, you know, attack and get hitters out, whereas early in his career he could just rear back and kind of blow it by you.
That happens to a lot of young players.
But I say double-edged sword. Runner goes, thrown out by Gomes, nailed him. Oh, what a play. Perfectly executed by Yan Gomes.
Boy, was it ever. No, you're talking about the catcher running right there, but he had 4 stolen bases last year.
Well, I'm not sure. Bradley squared.
That was out of the zone. Yeah, well, it was out of the zone. He may have wanted to bunt, so he sees him taking off. He's trying to protect the runner and pull it back to where Gomes doesn't see the ball, but it was up and away. It was almost like a pitch out. Gomes able to stay back and easily throws him out.
To get back to the point about Jabba, though, when I say double-edged sword, at times, especially in the last maybe 2 years, he's gotten away from his fastball, which is still effective enough.
Oh, he has enough on it. If he doesn't throw his fastball for strikes, I mean, it's always going to be slider. He's got to prove. I mean, every pitcher's, you know, their stuff comes off their fastball. You got to prove you can throw fastballs for strikes to hitters, or they're going to spit on it and they'll sit for that bread and butter pitch. Anytime he gets into a jam, I think like 3-2, the leadoff hitter, he's going to go to his slider. That's the pitch that's his comfort pitch. But that's the fastball you're going to have, but it's 3-0, so he's taken all away. But you have to throw that fastball for strikes. And when we faced him, when he was with Detroit and Kansas City, I kept saying, boy, sit on the slider, even though it's a good one. That's the one he can throw most of the time for strikes.
Pops this fastball up on the infield. Uribe under it. Makes the catch. 2 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Mookie Betts has had a big impact on this game. A 2-run homer, a liner to the bleachers and left, gave Boston the lead in the 3rd, and then a big saving play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The lead off took a double, perhaps a triple away from Rajai Davis. Betts looks at that breaking ball in the dirt. Good fastball taken for a strike. It's 1-1. To center field. Naquin will make the catch. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th here at Progressive Field with the Indians down 2. (4-2) as we roll on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Indians looking for some offense. Boston has just shut them down. Now the Red Sox have combined to retire the last 7 Indians hitters in order. And the Boston bullpen door opens up for Koji Uehara as he comes on after Junichi Tozawa worked a scoreless 7th inning.
Yeah, used to be their closer until they went out and traded for Craig Kimbrell. But limited to just 43 games last year. He had a right wrist radius fracture. He suffered in August at Detroit. He had 43 appearances, but 36 of those 43 did not allow a run. And this is like a fastball, nothing overpowering, but an outstanding changeup, and I believe it's like a splitter. Big deception here.
Jason Kipnis 0 for 3 on the day to lead it off. And pops it back out of play.
You can see the fastball 86 miles an hour, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's wrong with that? But you watch when he throws you that off-speed pitch, same arm speed, it just never gets there. That's what makes 86 so effective.
Rick, I'm trying to remember, does he's not one of those guys that every once in a while will just flip an eephus pitch up there.
No,
he doesn't.
No, it's just the 2-pitch mix. The last time I saw him, I haven't seen him throw any big breaking ball or anything. He just tries to get you to right there, hit it off the end of the bat, get you out in front.
1 away. Here's our Yellowwood bringing the lumber hits of the game. Francisco Lindor in his season debut. Singled and scored in the 4th. Singled again in the 5th.
Really good approach. The base hit to right was on the changeup away. They got a breaking ball that was left up. He ended up turning on and hitting it to left field. There it is. There, see that changeup.
Oh, the bottom just falls out of it.
Yeah, that's his split. I mean, that's his off-speed pitches, the splitter. But you can see that's at 78, so it's about 9 miles an hour difference. But when you watch the grip, look at it. It's a splitter, and it's got great movement going the other way.
Lindor pops one to the left. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Mike Napoli. Well, Rick, you go back to that 4th inning when the Indians scored their 2 runs. And with 2 outs, Juan URIBE ripped the base hit to left field. The next man up was Colin Cowgill, who struck out on 3 pitches. Since that at bat, they're 1 for 13 in the game. Blown away, but off the plate. It's 2-0. Speed pitch that drops in for a strike. 2-1. No chase. 3-1. Drive down 2. Napoli walked in the 2nd inning. Struck out each time up since. Kind of floated in there. It caught some of the strike zone at some point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the count. You can see he comes right back with that splitter. 3-1.
Oh, just darted the outside corner. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We head to the 9th. It remains 4-2 Boston.
Boston leads the Tribe as we head to the 9th inning on opening day, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pawlowski here at the corner. And Jensen, really the story today, runners in scoring position. The Indians not delivering in certain circumstances where Boston has.
Yeah, I mean, Kluber pitched well, and not a lot of hard contact except for the Betts home run, but tale of what happened last year. Indians can't convert with runners in scoring position. Boston took advantage of their chances.
Join us afterwards for Indians Live, a complete breakdown of today's game brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Now back upstairs to Matt and Rick.
4-2 in favor of Boston as we go to the 9th inning, and Trevor Bauer will come on now for the Tribe. He is the 5th Indians pitcher to work here this afternoon. Bauer has been a starter. He made one appearance late in the year out of the bullpen last year. But with a crowded mix at the end of camp and given the roster situation for the Indians, they figured the best way to sort of accommodate everybody in that circumstance without just flat out cutting somebody loose was to move Trevor to the bullpen. They wanted Cody Anderson on the team, in the rotation. He was the one guy that had options left that could have sent back, but they didn't feel, they felt like he won a job.
Well, if he went out and he won the job, and regardless of the numbers in spring training, they broke with 8 pitchers, 8 bullpen guys. So you have it, and even though you're only going to use 4 starters for the first maybe 10 days, 2 weeks in that situation, Bauer goes to the bullpen. So you go out there, you pitch, and you pitch your way and try and get yourself back into the rotation, where he made 30 starts for the Indians last year. Long year. You go through so many starters throughout the course of the year. You're never going to stay with your 5 or 6. You're always going to have about 8.
And that's the beauty of,
and that's on a good year,
planning. You plan, well, we don't need a 5th starter. You know what? Next thing you know, Mother Nature says, remember all those plans you made? Watch this.
Well, I know. I know. I mean, but you have to have a game plan, and you go into it, and you also have a plan B, and you have to switch to that as well. Well, everybody gets pushed back now, and with the weather and the forecast, who knows what's going to happen? Not only here for the next 2 days, but also for the weekend in Chicago. The White Sox are out in Oakland. They play a 4-game series before they head home, and that'll be their home opener.
Bauer walks the leadoff man, Dustin Pedroia. Baseball is back in. FS1 starts their season Thursday as Prince Fielder and the Rangers take on Mike Trout and the Angels. Catch it on America's Home for Baseball all season long, FS1. Or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. That's the new app for your phone. Check that out, and you can stream it right to your phone. Xander Bogaerts, who is 0 for 4 on the day. There's a strike. Trevor came out, had 2 quick strikes on Pedroia, then walked him with 4 straight that missed. Bates, the outside corner, it's 1-2.
Well, Bauer last year ended up leading the league in walks, and I found it a little interesting this year when he came to spring training, mentioning that he wants to try and throw the ball harder. Really, it's not harder, it's command of what he has. He has a good enough fastball with his off-speed pitches, but he drilled the outside corner right there. Got the strikeout.
Xander Bogaerts smiles as he heads back to the dugout. He didn't like the call on the pitch before, and John Hirschbeck said, well, you didn't like that one. Wait do you see this one?
Hard to get a look at the plate, and yeah, there's been a few guys that have had something to say on pitches away.
So 1 on, 1 out for David Ortiz. Upstairs, ball 1. Ortiz doubled in the 3rd. He was intentionally walked in the 7th. And again, Bauer just really good location over the outside corner with that fastball.
back inside, hit that corner and misses a little bit. But everything's been pretty much fastball so far.
Swung out and missed. Big Poppy upset with himself. He turned it loose trying to get after that low fastball.
Well, sometimes when he gets ahead in the count, he will try and cheat on some of the pitches. You know, you get a little older, that bat speed slows down a little bit, so he gets the count in his favor. If he's looking for a fastball, he'll cheat on you and try and swing it. He did it once to Corey today, where he ended up swinging over a pitch out of the strike zone down.
They got that one, and that one is not coming back. David Ortiz may have just put it out of reach with a 2-run homer in the ninth, making it 6-2 Boston.
Yeah, that one was not down out of the zone. That was in his nitro zone. You know, he hit one deep to right field, and it seemed like the wind knocked it down earlier. So Ortiz had a double earlier. He'll get his first home run of the year and make it a 6-2 ball game. Watch this one. Right down there, it wasn't low enough because he didn't miss this one. That's the patented swing, and he knew it as soon as he hit it. That one he hit earlier was underneath. A little too much air time. That one did. That carried and broke through the wind.
It's the 5th different opening day home run that David Ortiz has hit in his career. Goes back to his days with the Minnesota Twins, where he spent the early portion of his career, but that's the 3rd opening day homer he's hit as a Boston Red Sox player. Now Hanley Ramirez liftoff deep right, and that is off the top of the wall. Bird plays it perfectly and holds Ramirez to a long single off the wall in right field.
Well, Bauer's sitting back rearing and throwing that heater, and those guys are waiting for it. That ball went off the top of the wall. And you can see as Bird goes back, that's right down the middle. That fastball, they're waiting for it. The harder you throw, the better they like it. And you can see just underneath the yellow line. And as you mentioned, played nicely by Bird on one hop to hold Ramirez to a single. Well, now 3 out of the first 4 have reached. And Mickey Callaway comes out to talk to Bauer as Otero gets up and starts to throw. Now, the last thing he wanted to do is get up another guy, but
by the way, the home run for Ortiz gives him 504 in his career, ties him with Eddie Murray for 25th all time. Now Travis Shaw. Takes a fastball for a strike. He swung at a ball that bounced a good couple of feet in front of home plate, and he just says, okay, I've had enough here. 2 down. Our Pat O'Brien play of the game.
Broke the tie back in the 6th inning.
Brock Holt just threw the hands at it. Swats it into left field. Breaks the tie, and Boston has never trailed since. That's the Pat O'Brien play of the game. Mentioned before, we're talking about Carl Yastrzemski. He holds Boston's team record with 6 opening day home runs.
Well, Frank Robinson, I think, has 8. Him and Griffey, I think, lead the way.
All time?
Yeah, all time.
According to this note from the Red Sox, among active players, Ortiz now has the most home runs on opening day with 5 among active players.
That makes sense. That's a lot of homers.
He was tied with Jimmy Rollins. Ball's hit to left field, and Marlon, Rajay Davis makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But Big Papi with a big blast here in the 9th, giving Boston some insurance. They lead it 6-2. Last chance for the Tribe when we come back. Brought to you by Mazda. Run support for Kluber. Only 2 on the board today for the Indians. And you knew it was going to be tough sledding against a guy like David Price. Yan Gomes made his presence felt with an RBI single today. And among the veterans, Marlon Byrd added a sac fly. URIBE had a base hit. Those are all storylines that I think we'll be watching all season long, not just today, right, but all year long. So we head to the bottom of the 9th, and Craig Kimbrell coming on for Boston. Not a save situation now after the home run by Ortiz. It's a 4-run game.
But you leave spring training, you get rained out, there's colded out or snowed out yesterday, so he was up, you bring him in regardless of the situation.
We were frozen out yesterday.
Frozen, however you want to look at it. I think we were part of all 3.
Kimbrell was like a force of nature when he burst on with Atlanta, wasn't he?
Well, one of the most dominant closers around when it looks at strikeouts per 9 innings. The guy, I mean, just an electric heater. And he can throw a breaking ball. I think a changeup as well. One of Dave Dombrowski's trades in the offseason, going to pick up Kimbrell.
Santana bloops one toward left field, but in comes Brock Holt to make that catch. And there's 1-0. Kimbrell is 27 years old. Four players went the other way in that trade. Boston traded 4 minor league players to San Diego. Fastball strike.
There's a good slider. You know, you face this guy and you have to be geared for the number one, that fastball, because if you're not, you'll never hit it. And all of a sudden he comes up after throwing a heater and drops a little slider on. And now you don't know what to look for as a hitter. And it has to be number one.
Fastball away. 97 miles an hour.
An easy 97 too.
Strike three called. Gomes out looking 2 down.
You know, the thing about Kimbrel is that in his career he's been just almost untouchable out of the bullpen. And so last year he goes to San Diego and has the highest ERA of his career.
And that's a good ballpark to pitch in. Yeah, I don't know. You can't figure it out.
His career ERA, folks, is 1.63. That's in his career. Last year's ERA was 2.58 with San Diego. Most guys would say that's a good year for me. Upstairs to Marlon Byrd, who's 0 for 2. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the 4th inning. And a fastball pours over to even the count of 1-1. Breaking ball, and it backed up on him. Way outside. We'll be with you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on Sports Time Ohio for Game 2 of this 3-game series, Indians and Red Sox. Al and Jensen, who are coming up with Indians Live to follow the game here, will also get us started tomorrow at 5:30.
Carrasco and Buckles scheduled.
Bird draws a walk, keeps it alive for the Indians. And now Juan Uribe, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Had a sharp single to left back in the 4th inning. And a fastball by Uribe, 0-1. Kimbrel's tough enough, but you wonder if there's a little bit of an issue now for the hitters with the shadow, because Kimbrel's completely in the shade, and then that ball just jumps out of his hand into the bright sunlight before it gets to home plate.
You know, I was looking at that. I didn't want to say anything because it's tough enough to hit him, you know, under normal conditions, let alone, you know, you're at 420 on a sunny day, and the light towers are coming into play now.
Uribe had a healthy hack, but he fouls it back. And the Indians could be down to their final strike now. Houston leading the Yankees 5-3. They're in the 9th in New York. Uribe fouls it back. I think just about everything else in baseball is later. Oh no, Kansas City and the Mets are just underway at Kauffman Stadium.
Craig Kimbrell with 2 down, a runner at first.
And a 1-2 pitch to Uribe, way outside, and it's 2-2. Tyler Naquin would be next if Uribe finds his way to first base here. Boston with 11 hits on the afternoon, leads at 6-2. Uribe checks, it's low, and now the count goes full. The Indians have just 5 hits. Their last hit came in the 5th inning, 2-out single by Francisco Lindor. And since Uribe singled in the 4th inning, that's their only hit. Single by Lindor, and the only other base runner since Uribe's single in the 4th inning is the 2-out walk to Bird here in the 9th. The 3-2 is strike 3 called to end the game. Well, Boston rides the left arm of David Price and the big bat of their veteran David Ortiz to an opening day win over the Indians here in Cleveland. The final score today is 6-2 Red Sox. The winning pitcher is David Price, who goes to 1-0. The loser, Corey Kluber, who is 0-1. And Boston gets out to a 1-0 start on the year, while the Indians are 0-1. And again, both teams will meet again tomorrow night as we continue the series. But David Price, they went out and signed him to a 6-year deal in the offseason, gave him over $200 million, and he went out and pitched like an ace here this afternoon.
Well, we expected to see that, you know, from the two guys getting after it. The Indians were able to come back and tie it. Made them work hard in the 4th inning, but the Red Sox came back, and in the 6th inning they got to Corey Kluber. A wild pitch scored that 4th run. They were able to add 2 on in the 9th inning, but you know, they're just few chances, and you have to take advantage of them, and they could do it. They scored 2 runs, and that you're going to have to score more than that to win.
So disappointing ending to what is always a very exciting day. Opening day in Cleveland, it goes the way of the Red Sox. 6-2 is the final. We'll be back with Indians Live coming up next.